Orbiting roughly 148,000 miles away from Saturn is Enceladus. It is a tiny world, measuring just 313 miles across. You could fit the entire moon within the borders of Arizona, and its sky is completely dominated by the swirling storms and massive rings of its host planet. Enceladus is encased in a blindingly white shell of solid ice. It has a geometric albedo of 0.99, meaning it reflects nearly 100% of the weak sunlight that reaches it back out into space. Because of this extreme reflectivity, the surface temperature rests at a staggering -330 degrees Fahrenheit. When the Cassini spacecraft arrived at the Saturnian system in 2004, researchers assumed Enceladus would be entirely unremarkable. They expected to find a frozen, static wasteland. Given its minuscule size and profound distance from the sun, there was no logical reason to suspect this ball of solid ice harbored any internal heat or geological activity. It was the last place in the solar system astronomers expected to find anything moving. Curious, leaning in. But as Cassini flew past, its magnetometer picked up a glaring anomaly. The probe detected a massive disturbance in the surrounding space that defied every mathematical model. This vector model illustrates the problem. The immense magnetic field of Saturn flows through this region of space, but instead of passing cleanly through the tiny moon, the field lines were bending and bowing around it. Something was physically pushing back against Saturn's magnetic field. When researchers commanded Cassini to take a closer look, they found the source of the resistance. Near the moon's south pole were 4 massive, parallel fractures carved deep into the ice crust. Astronomers named them the tiger stripes. Enceladus was actively erupting. From these deep canyons, the moon was firing towering geysers of water vapor and ice particles hundreds of miles into the vacuum of space at over 800 miles per hour. The eruption is so continuous and violent that the tiny moon's gravity cannot hold on to the material. The ejected ice shoots straight into space, literally paving Saturn's outermost E-ring with frozen ocean water. Water shooting out of a frozen shell at supersonic speeds proves there is a liquid environment trapped beneath the ice. Gravity and density measurements confirm this subsurface ocean is roughly 6 miles deep, almost as deep as Earth's Mariana Trench. This presents a physical paradox. The sun is nearly 900 million miles away, providing essentially zero thermal energy. Without that solar heat, this massive body of liquid water should freeze solid. The heat source is gravity, specifically a 2-to-1 orbital resonance with the neighboring moon Dione. For every 1 orbit Dione completes, Enceladus completes exactly 2. Every time they pass each other, Dione's gravity gives Enceladus a slight tug. This rhythmic pulling forces Enceladus into an oval-shaped orbit. As the moon moves closer to Saturn, the gas giant's immense gravitational pull strengthens, physically stretching the entire world. As it moves further away, the moon relaxes. This relentless squishing and stretching creates immense internal friction deep within the rocky core. The rock physically rubs together, generating massive amounts of heat through a process called tidal heating. It acts as a colossal internal furnace, melting the ice from the bottom up. Gravity is acting as a permanent, reliable heat source, maintaining a vast liquid environment in the darkest reaches of our solar system. To figure out exactly what was swirling in that water, NASA executed a daring maneuver in 2015. They dropped Cassini to an altitude of just 30 miles, flying the probe directly through the erupting plumes at 19,000 miles per hour, so its onboard mass spectrometer could physically taste the liquid. A landmark paper published in 2018 analyzed that data and revealed the presence of complex organic macromolecules. These are heavy, intricate structures containing hundreds of atoms and complex carbon rings. They are the chemical structures required to assemble amino acids, build proteins, and eventually construct living cells. To understand how this chemistry is forming, we look to the bottom of our own ocean. Plunging thousands of feet into the Atlantic, far removed from any sunlight, there are deep cracks in the Earth's crust known as hydrothermal vents. These chimneys release boiling fluid that reacts with freezing seawater in a process called serpentinization. The interaction between mineral-rich rock and water naturally produces heat, hydrogen gas, and the exact kind of complex organic molecules Cassini detected at Saturn. The data strongly suggests this same chemosynthetic process is actively occurring right now inside Enceladus. We are no longer just looking at warm water. We have found an active astrobiological reactor. It is a system capable of sustaining thriving ecosystems entirely in the dark, powered by chemical energy spewing from the rock. Astrobiologists look for a specific chemical recipe to determine if a world is truly habitable. It's an acronym called CHOPS, standing for carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These are the 6 essential building blocks of all known life. Cassini easily found the first 4, but phosphorus and sulfur remained elusive for years. In 2023, researchers analyzing data from Cassini's cosmic dust analyzer finally identified orthophosphates within the ice grains of the E-ring. This discovery confirmed the presence of phosphorus, the critical backbone of the DNA double helix and a core component of how cells transfer energy. Then, in late 2025, a reanalysis of Cassini's Brastus Pass revealed evidence of esters and ethers. Because these molecules are fragile and break down quickly in space, their presence proves they were synthesized deep within the ocean and ejected just moments before Cassini caught them. Enceladus officially contains a perfectly primed ocean, churning out the complete, verified chemical recipe required for biology. Observations from the James Webb Space Telescope in 2022 showed just how active the moon is today. It captured a single plume of water vapor shooting out of the South Pole that spanned 6,000 miles. That is a geyser stretching roughly the distance from Los Angeles to Buenos Aires, pumping water into the Saturnian system at 80 gallons per second. With an ocean perfectly churning out the ingredients for biology, why didn't Cassini just find the actual alien life forms? The answer comes down to engineering. Cassini was built to be a weather and geology satellite, not a biology lab. Its instruments were designed to weigh molecules and identify basic chemistry. They lacked the microscopic resolution necessary to see a living cell or sequence a strand of alien DNA. We didn't give the probe the eyes to see it. It was equipped to find the smoke, not the fire. Cassini's ultimate legacy is providing the exact coordinates of an alien astrobiological reactor. We have the liquid water, the reliable heat, and the complex chemistry. Now we need a next-generation probe to return and finally look for the fire.